Why rockers can't stand Sharon Osbourne. Guys, I'm sure there are a couple of reasons. I have a couple of personal reasons, right? But let's go ahead and check this out immediately. This is a suggestion via Discord. Sharon Osbourne.
Whether you like her or not,
No.
Sharon Osbourne is one of the most influential and powerful figures in heavy metal. Ever a ruthless businesswoman,
Bad business.
Sharon has made many enemies over the years and has been involved in countless feuds with other bands in the genre. With that in mind, let's take a look at some of the rockers who can't stand Sharon Osbourne. The final stop on the 2005 Ozfest
Bruce
tour was
Dickinson.
absolutely disastrous for English heavy metal band.
Bro, they threw eggs at him. Their like the electricity on the stage kept dropping out, kind of like on purpose. And then we later found out, if I recall at least, that it wasn't really fans who were throwing eggs. It was people that she knew specifically throwing eggs.
Iron Maiden. In response to Bruce Dickinson's disrespectful comments over Ozzy's need for a teleprompter during his performances, Sharon Osbourne instructed the crowd to pelt Maiden with eggs, a request that more than a few members of the crowd enthusiastically carried out. Additionally, Maiden's PA system lost power several times throughout their set, with Bruce accusing festival organizers of deliberately sabotaging their performance. After Iron Maiden finished their set, Sharon made a sudden and unannounced appearance on stage, saying to the crowd, quote, "I absolutely loved Iron Maiden and their crew, but their singer, Bruce Dickinson, was a jerk and has disrespected Ozfest since they began their stint with the tour." The feud would be brought to new hostile heights during a 2022 interview with Consequence, where Ozzy Osbourne was asked if he felt he was underrated as a singer compared to other legendary vocalists such as Bruce Dickinson.
He was.
Sharon spoke up, saying, "Bruce Dickinson is an effing p***.
Oh.
He's an effing a-hole. Ozzy Osbourne was paying him every night to perform, and every night he would go on stage and say bad things about Ozzy. The thing about him is
that's kind of trash.
that he is just so jealous, and always has been of Ozzy. That's his problem." Sharon then revealed that the audience members who threw eggs at Bruce in 2005 were actually her very own chemotherapy nurses from Cedars-Sinai Hospital, where she was battling cancer at the time. Sharon would continue her verbal assault of Dickinson, calling him a, quote, faceless singer. "The thing about Bruce is, he is unknown to the public," quipped Sharon. "Dickinson could walk into anywhere and nobody would know who the F he is. People aren't scrambling to get him for an interview. Ozzy is original, and Bruce isn't. And
bro, it's Ozzy. It's Ozzy Osbourne we're talking about here.
That's what eats Bruce away." In November of 2011, the original lineup of Black Sabbath announced that they would be reuniting to record a new album and embark on a farewell tour. However, a few months later, founding Black Sabbath drummer Bill Ward announced he would not be partaking in the reunion unless he is presented with a, quote, fair agreement. "I am unable to continue unless a signable contract is drawn up that reflects some dignity and respect toward me as an original member of the band," said Ward. "If I sign as is, I stand to lose my rights, dignity, and respectability as a rock musician."
Yeah, bro, listen, I like the idea of that, but I'm not sure if Sharon is part of this deal, you're going to come out on top or even anywhere near the top. Her main purpose is Ozzy. You're basically, all of the rest of Black Sabbath is basically tagging along with Ozzy. That's it, in her eyes.
Fans immediately protested the decision, demanding that Ward be included in the reunion. A rumor then began to spread that Sharon Osbourne was responsible for firing Ward. Though Sharon adamantly denied these claims, Ozzy Osbourne seemingly accidentally threw her under the bus in a 2014 interview with Billboard, where he revealed that Sharon was responsible for the business side of the Black Sabbath reunion. "We were all sad Bill Ward didn't come last time," said Ozzy, "but I don't deal with the dough and the business side. That's my wife's job. The thing is, when you've got 4 guys with 4 different agendas and managers, it gets pretty crazy. I just go, you do what you've got to do, Sharon. I'll do what I've got to do." A few years later, during a 2015 interview with Eddie Trunk, Ward would further single out Sharon as the force behind the unsignable contract, stating he knows Sharon has disliked him for quite some time. Bill Ward has recently said that his heart was, quote, ripped to pieces following his dismissal from the Black Sabbath reunion. Vince Neil blasted Sharon Osbourne in his 2010 autobiography, Tattoos and Tequila, to hell and back with one of rock's most notorious frontmen. "It really sickens me today to watch everybody fawning all over Sharon Osbourne,"
Not me, bro. Don't worry. You and I are together.
Neil wrote in his book. "This is the most evil woman I've ever met. She was not nice to Motley Crue. She wouldn't let us have girls backstage. She only gave us a case of beer between all of us. It wasn't any fun. According to the New York Post, Sharon was said to be absolutely heartbroken by Vince's comments, claiming that she hadn't spoken to Neil for nearly 30 years. Vince has murdered somebody in a car, said Sharon. He crippled 2 other people and he is still driving drunk. And that is why I used to keep my husband away from him, referring to Neil's 1984 car crash that took the life of Hanoi rock drummer Nicholas Razzle Dingley. Sadly, in June 2010, only a week after the release of Tattoos and Tequila, Vince Neil was arrested on suspicion of drunk driving in Las Vegas, Nevada after allegedly smashing a fan's camera. Sharon Osbourne abruptly resigned as manager of the Smashing Pumpkins in January 2000. In a tersely worded statement, Sharon would cite Pumpkins frontman Billy Corgan as the reason for her departure. "It was with great pride and enthusiasm that I took on management of the Smashing Pumpkins back in October," Sharon wrote. "But unfortunately, I must resign today due to medical reasons. Billy Corgan was making me sick." Sharon would later tell Reuters News that the final straw was over the video for the band's single, Stand Inside Your Love. Corgan wanted to wear a dress in the music video. However, Sharon dismissed the idea, calling it a quote, try-hard move. In protest, Corgan gave Sharon the silent treatment for several days until she had enough and quit on the spot. Following Sharon Osbourne's slandering of Smashing Pumpkins in the press, the band moved to sue their former manager in a California court, alleging fraud as well as breach of contract. This timing portrays a calculated, vindictive attempt to damage the group both emotionally and professionally, the Pumpkins said in their lawsuit. The band wanted Sharon to pay them back $150,000, which they claimed was an advance allegedly misappropriated by Osbourne during her time as their manager. Sharon would later issue a statement on the matter, which read, "It is unfortunate
whatever they have to say, I'll believe it,
that Mr. Corgan has turned a routine accounting matter into a lawsuit designed to attack my honesty and credibility. Obviously,
didn't you do that to them?
This is just a sad attempt to keep me in his life for a little longer because he misses me so much." In a May 2022 interview, Papa Roach frontman Jacoby Shaddix would reveal that he was, quote, verbally assassinated by Sharon Osbourne during his band's stint on the 2001 iteration of Ozfest. On the New Jersey stop of the tour, Shaddix incited a riot that made its way to the stage. Fans proceeded to absolutely destroy the venue and leave the stage in shambles. Headliners Slipknot and Ozzy Osbourne still needed to play their set and were now faced with an extensive cleanup effort before they could even set up their instruments. A scared Shaddix knew he would have to answer for his actions and attempted to escape the venue in the trunk of a car. He was soon found out by law enforcement. "I got arrested for inciting a riot," recalls Shaddix. "The cops detained me and they let me go. That was all fine and dandy until I had to go into Sharon's office and she laid down the law. I left like a scared child." Shaddix would end his comments with a warning for any other rock and rollers, saying, quote, "Don't F with Sharon." On the August 20th, 1999 episode of The Howard Stern Show, Insane Clown Posse clashed with fellow guest Sharon Osbourne.
Is that
during the face-off?
Is that Sharon Osbourne?
Sharon would bet $50,000 that ICP's next album would not sell more than 200,000 copies, a bet that the duo accepted. Sharon was not particularly worried about losing this wager, saying to ICP, quote, "You're over. Your career is finished. You're has-beens. You're a joke. You have no musical credibility. You don't even play any instruments."
I mean, they're rappers.
On October 31st, 2000, Insane Clown Posse released their 6th studio album, Bizarre. Not only did it sell more than the minimum requirement of 200,000 copies, it doubled it, eventually selling in excess of 500,000 units and earning a gold certification. 20 years later, Violent J of the Insane Clown Posse would reveal to Loudwire that Sharon never reached out to the group in order to stay true to her word and make good on her bet.
Why would she, bro?
Lost that bet super hard, stated Violent J. "She, without question, owes us that money. We said, you ain't gotta pay us, just pay it to a charity in our name. Because if it would have went the other way around, I bet you they would have been calling us out saying, when are we gonna pay?" Contributing 100%. Their winnings to charity was a very classy move on ICP's end. However, as Loudwire put it, the only true loser in this situation is a charity that will never see those $50,000. And that's our list. Did we?
Guys, okay. Oh, all right. Here. Sharon Osbourne. Like, I mean, when it comes to Sharon Osbourne and business, she is very singular focused, and that is her family and no one else, which is fine. I mean, I guess if that's how you want to run your business, but you're going to basically encounter a lot of hate on the way there. Okay? A lot of hate on the way there. I think that's just a reality of the situation. Now, my personal issue with her is she pretty much regularly attacks us reactors, like pretty regularly. You do not, under any circumstance, want to run a reaction channel and do anything Black Sabbath specifically oriented, anything Ozzy Osbourne live performances, any of the things that at all. And a lot of that is due to the fact, how about this here? But legally you can, okay? Period. Guys, period. When it comes to all of this here, reaction channels exist because we're kind of in a moderately gray area of the copyright law, I'd say. And moderately gray because people like Sharon Osbourne exist, right? And Warner Brothers Music exists, and the estate of the Village People, one of the singers at least, right? One of the singers' estates is someone also very similar to Sharon Osbourne. The list can definitely go on, specifically coming from the realm of like pop music, rock, or any type of rock adjacent music, and all of hip hop, all rap. Basically, if you're trying to run like a reaction channel and utilize what's legally allowed to be used, meaning you utilize someone's copyrighted content for the sole purpose of giving, like your opinion, let's say, on said content. Yeah, you're kind of within the realm of fair use. You can do that. This is why these reaction channels exist in the first place. Because you can legally do it. But then there are people like, again, the people who I just mentioned who completely disregard it. Sharon Osbourne, I don't know if she purposely does this or she just doesn't know because she's not American and doesn't understand the copyright law, which wouldn't make much sense because she's been here for a really long time. And she pretty much works within the business of copyrights and music and things. So it kind of looks like on the back end here that she does these things on purpose, right? And if you've been in like the reaction game, let's say, for a really long time, you have come across Black Sabbath. People have suggested Black Sabbath, then you have done it, and then you may be able to kind of skate through it. You're going to get a copyright claim immediately, right? But if you accidentally react to a version of it that, let's say, is live and it's slightly different than the master copy, you're basically going to get a share on YouTube. They're basically going to share income with you off of that video. So then what Sharon Osbourne will end up doing, okay, she'll be like, oh no, that person is basically promoting my artist and they're getting paid for it. We're going to go ahead and copyright strike your channel. That's what she does, guys. She is the most copyright strike heavy person in existence, it seems, that I've experienced on YouTube. And now keep this in mind, 3 copyright strikes and your channel gets deleted. That means that your favorite person you were encountering, let's say on YouTube, is now gone because some copyright holder decided to completely ignore the concept of fair use. So then what happens is, if you were smart, at least, you would then get a lawyer. Okay? And then sue Sharon Osbourne and Ozzy Osbourne and the entire label, sue all of them, sue everyone. Okay? If they're going to violate law, then violate them back, bro. Sharon Osbourne, guys, I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan. I caught 2 copyright strikes over the last 2 years from Black Sabbath. Okay, all right. Black Sabbath, one of the singers from the YMCA also, and actively we have a copyright strike on the music channel from Kendrick Lamar. People are like, oh, please react to his new album. No. So that's how that works, guys. Right? But obviously after 90 days, as long as you don't get 3 within 90 days, your channel doesn't get deleted. But that's how that is. A lot of these companies are just taking advantage of these channels, basically, and the audiences from these channels. That's what they're doing. A lot of these labels. Because they know we're not going to sue over every single reaction video we post, basically. If we were to, then they'd lose because it's fair use. Yeah. So that's how that works, guys. But either way, but again, so for example, I have like over 5,000 videos on YouTube, and maybe 3,000 of them are copyrighted. They shouldn't be because every single one of them is fair use. But who cares? Who cares about us small guys? Yeah. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. Obviously, this video was not meant to have you go over to Sharon Osbourne and yell at her. Okay, don't do that, guys. I'll catch you guys later.